who you are. You have to run.
Season 2 of Citadel takes the wild, memory-warping spy chaos of Season 1 and doubles down with bigger villains, nastier tech, and a finale that actually changes the game in this universe. If you like slick, globe-trotting espionage where every character is lying, bleeding, or both, this season absolutely earns your binge. Season 2 picks up right where we left off. Citadel is rubble, Manticore is on the rise, and Mason has just learned he was the mole who helped destroy the agency in the first place. Bernard Orlick is being held captive by a billionaire who wants him to build the perfect assassin. Nadia's cover is blown, and she's on the run with her daughter Asha, and Mason is still wrestling with fractured memories and the fallout of his betrayal. All 7 episodes dropped on the same day, so the season is structured like one long, relentless movie. No waiting week to week. Just hit next episode and keep spiraling deeper into Citadel's mess. Enter Paulo Braga, the big villain of this season, and easily one of the most dangerous people in this universe so far. He kidnaps Bernard and forces him to design a chip that can be implanted into anyone, turning them into an emotionless, remotely controlled assassin, basically weaponized human drones. His endgame is to assassinate Russian President Aronov at the G8 summit and then leverage the new regime into selling him the powerful Russian satellites they have in space. It's gloriously over the top, mind control, geopolitics, and doomsday satellites all colliding in one climactic operation. What keeps Season 2 from being just cool stunts and cool gadgets is how viciously it leans into Nadia and Mason's emotional wreckage. Nadia is still drowning in guilt over her choices as a spy, the danger she's brought to Asha, and the impossible line she walks between ruthless operative and terrified mother. Mason, meanwhile, is carrying the knowledge that he was the one who took Citadel down, while still not fully trusting his own memories after everything that happened in Season 1. Their scenes together are tense, prickly, and often painful. It feels less like partners reconnecting and more like two people trapped in a shared trauma they can't escape. Bernard doesn't just break out and go rogue, he recruits Hutch, a renegade CIA agent played by Jack Rayner, to help him rebuild a version of Citadel on the fly. Hutch is the chaotic good energy this universe needed. Paired with other CIA figures who sometimes feel like Tintin's Thompson and Thompson, he brings a looser, more playful vibe to the mission planning and undercover hijinks. We hop around Europe and beyond as this makeshift team tries to locate Braga, untangle Manticore's latest power plays, and somehow drag Nadia and Mason back into the fold, despite their personal war. If you come to Citadel for the set pieces, Season 2 feeds you well. The Russo brothers keep the action clean, kinetic, and cinematic. Close-quarters fights, stylish infiltrations, and big, chaotic shootouts, all framed with that glossy, high-budget streaming look. The fight choreography lands this season, with brawls that feel painful and tactical instead of weightless CGI chaos. On top of that, the show's dark, moody aesthetic blends with grand vistas and high-end locations, giving every mission the feel of a mid-budget Bond movie that you just happen to be binge-watching at home. Priyanka Chopra's Nadia remains the emotional center of the show, but she's used in an interesting way this time around. She actually brings her A-game here, selling the idea of a woman who's constantly calculating, constantly afraid, and constantly dangerous, even if the series around her has the emotional depth of a video game. What's undeniable is that whenever Nadia steps into a fight or into a moral corner, you lean forward. The show treats her as both weapon and wound, and that duality is compelling to watch. Season 2 is generally seen as an improvement over Season 1 in terms of sheer watchability. The dialogue is snappier, the tone is more playful in stretches, and you can feel the show leaning into a more Bond than Bourne vibe, more quips and swagger, less brooding puzzle box convolution. At the same time, the writing is still divisive. Some reviewers complain that despite the bigger stakes, the narrative can feel muddled and emotionally shallow, never quite living up to the franchise's global ambition. When Nadia and Mason's heavy, trauma-laden storylines collide with the newly lighter spy banter, the tone sometimes clashes and the momentum dips. The last episode goes for real consequences instead of another fake-out, and that's where Season 2 really earns its stripes. Bernard and the team arrive at a horrifying scene. Mason is already dead in the car, Nadia unconscious beside him, and it's not a trick. Mason is gone for real this time. They manage to revive Nadia, and the surviving agents push ahead, ultimately preventing Braga's plan to weaponize the satellites against entire nations. Bernard even spends $24 billion to buy the satellites, just so he can destroy them, watching from a private jet as the pieces burn up and fall back to Earth. But there's a brutal sting in the tale. Nadia discovers that Bernard knew all along that Abby was the assassin, and that his manipulations helped put both Mason and Nadia in the crosshairs. She walks away from him and from the team, leaving behind a list of surviving Citadel agents, and then showing up at Aparna's doorstep, gun in hand, clearly not done with this world, no matter what she tells herself. The message is clear. In Citadel, the mission might end, the satellites might fall, but the cycle of betrayal and blood never really stops. If you're here for airtight plotting and nuanced character study, Citadel is still not that show. It's a glossy, sometimes shallow thrill ride that occasionally trips over its own mythology. But if you want a fast, bingeable espionage series where Priyanka Chopra gets to be a haunted, lethal super spy, where the bad guy wants to turn humans into programmable killers, and where the finale actually changes the board instead of resetting it, Season 2 is absolutely worth your time. From our perspective, Citadel Season 2 feels like the show finally embracing what it was always meant to be, a messy, expensive, addictive spy soap, where every episode ends with you saying, okay, just one more. So, what did you think of this season? Was it different from Season 1 or just more of the same? Did Mason's death surprise you like it did the rest of us? Let us know in the comments. Hey, want more Wrightflicks reviews? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it.